friends. Welcome to our Midweek Moment. Pastor Nicole here. So glad you clicked on. This week we started our new sermon series called Tangled, Unraveling the Fear That Binds Us. Each week we're going to take a look at a deep-seated fear that we have in our lives and talk about how we can unravel that fear so that it doesn't keep us from God, it doesn't keep us from doing what God has called us to do. So this week we talked about everyone's favorite fear, the fear of failure. And not only did I share a story about a time that I felt like a failure, we also talked about the story of Moses and how he was afraid that he was going to fail when God asked him to do something pretty significant. I was just have been really thinking about that fear of failure and how there's so many times in our lives where we don't even try something because we are just afraid that we're going to fail, right? Just like right out the gate, we're like, I'm just not even going to try it because we're afraid that we're going to mess it up, that we're going to fail, that we're not going to do it right. And I think that there are probably a lot of really wonderful experiences that we miss out on because we don't even try, because we're scared. After the service, I was talking to a family with two little girls, and the mom said to me, in our family, we say it's okay to be scared, but you still have to try. And I just thought, what great wisdom, not only for kids, but for adults. I feel like that is a good word for me to cling to, that it's okay if I'm afraid to fail, but I still have to try. Because failure is not the worst thing in the world. Sometimes we think that it is, but it's really not. And it doesn't even have to be the end of the story. We talked about that in the sermon, that failure doesn't have to be the end of our story. It can just be a part of the story. So I really liked that idea of it's okay to be afraid, but you still have to try. And as I think back on my life of experiences that I was afraid that I would fail, but that I tried anyway, most of the time, they have been big blessings in my life. One that really comes to my mind was becoming a directing pastor. I'd only ever been an associate pastor before I came to this church and served here. And when I found out I was going to be a solo pastor, I thought, what if I break the church? What if I mess it up so badly that it's just awful? And I had a really deep fear about failing as a directing pastor. Now, I'm not going to say that I still won't fail, and that I haven't failed, because I have certainly messed up. But I haven't burnt the church down yet. It's still standing. So I'll take that as a good sign. We're doing great. This is such a wonderful church. And what I realized is that even though that fear could have kept me from taking this role, and I could have called the DS and been like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Put me somewhere else, or I'll just, fade away. That I would have missed out on the blessing of serving this incredible community. So even though I was scared, and it's okay to be scared, I still had to try. I want to share a verse with you that I think is just really a great one as we think about failure. It is Psalm 73:26. My body and my heart fail, but God is my heart's rock and my share forever. What a great reminder that our body will fail, right? None of us are going to live in our current bodies forever. We are going to die. Our bodies are going to fail us at some point. But God is there forever. He is our heart's rock forever. So even though our lives involve failure, and even though we are going to mess up, and we're not going to do everything exactly as we should, we're going to fail, that's okay, because God is with us, and God is our heart's rock and our share or our portion forever. And I think that's just a really wonderful reminder that we don't have to be perfect. In fact, we're not perfect. We're not God, so we're gonna fail. It's a part of life. But if we can understand it as a part of our journey, rather than like the final exclamation point or the final part of our story, it's just part of our story. It's not the end of our story. Then I think that we can get past that fear of failure. And even though it's okay to be scared, we can still try. So take that with you this week. Ponder on that. I hope you will join us this weekend as we continue the series and talk about fear of losing myself and what happens when we feel like we've lost ourselves. So I hope you'll join us for that sermon this weekend, whether in person or online. And I hope we'll see y'all soon. Have a great week. Bye.